We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is up? I am the voice of the faithful from Blitzkrieg Pro, and We Are Wrestling. You know me as the fucking old guy.
Long time, Phil, since we've had you here on the podcast.
Long time since we've done this, Donnie. I mean, I honestly feel like you forgot me. I'm like, you probably learned a few new things to introduce yourself with and forgot who I was because it's so much to memorize that, hey, what's up? I'm still alive.
And this week is a special Thanksgiving episode of the We Are Wrestling Podcast, so we hope you guys are eating good and enjoying the show. But before we get into all the juicy topics for this week, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. Give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content and live watch-alongs, reactions, the video version of the podcast for free, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real.
Yep, every time, man. Every time, word for word. It's like the
just like a
dog,
cassette
man.
player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's bread and butter, man. It's right before Thanksgiving. I don't want to fill up on rolls, but it's so good that I have to give it its fucking just desserts, you know? There's a couple Thanksgiving puns for you.
Well, I got plenty of rolls, but...
Oh my good God, there we go.
So, a couple things we do want to talk about before we get into our power of the poll and the highlight of the week. If you guys have been hiding under a rock, this week we have some pretty awesome content. First off, we want to thank all you guys who joined us for the AEW Full Gear watch along with Ricky Knows Best and myself. And if you guys also want to go check out the full match between Becca versus TJ Crawford, it's available now on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel.
That was a banger too, man, with a nice little, maybe an Easter egg of what's to come in the future of Blitzkrieg with TJ and Becca. So definitely stay to the end of that one.
Yeah, really good match, too, and so far, it looks like the Maniacs, they're really enjoying it, because as we're recording this, it's already at 500 views.
Look at that, man, I'm telling you, dude. Again, you can back me up here, because you've been with me on this journey. I will say it till I am blue in the face. The Northeast has the best professional wrestling in America. WWE has kept proving that. Now, every week, it seems. So, it's nice to be validated, but We Are Wrestling, acknowledge me.
That is right, man. And Blitzkrieg Pro is one of the best independent promotions in the New England area. We Are Wrestling. We love working with them. We've had a great relationship for the past couple of years. And we'll be in the house on Saturday, December 14th, which we can make the announcement right now because it's already been announced.
Donnie, bring it up!
We Are Wrestling is sponsoring Cruel versus Akira. And it's going to be a great match.
Man,
Ready for it.
not only that, but the Christmas presents around the ring will all contain something that once the present is open will be legal in the match to use.
Woo-hoo! That Christmas theme. Love it. Absolutely.
Man, I am telling you right now, dude, like, those who don't know Akira, the motherfucking Death Fighter, dude, like, get ready for a fucking treat. He's done a few Blitzkrieg shows already, man. Always seems to steal the show with fucking Cruel. Fucking Cruel! Have you guys seen what Cruel and Akira can do to each other? If you haven't,
it's
give
gonna
it a
be
fucking
crazy.
Google. Like, bro, this is gonna be fucking wild.
Yeah, plus too, like they're both a part of MLW, so if you guys are familiar with Cruel or Akira, you guys can go check them out. And I believe We Are Wrestling, we have a sponsored match from Cruel and Akira somewhere in the playlist, so if you guys do want to go check it out, highly recommend it. But it's the holiday season, so if you are also looking to get your partner, get your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your uncle, your aunt, some We Are Wrestling swag, it's available now on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Look at that. We Are Wrestling merch. I'm fucking so proud of this, man. It's great. I'm proud of you, Donnie. You fucking kill it, man. You are Mr. Consistent. The grind is real with you. It is.
That's right. It's a broken record man. Every time. That's right. The grind is real. But now let's get into our power of the poll. Every week, we encourage all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs to go to the YouTube channel in our community tab. And every time we upload a new episode of the podcast, we put up a new poll. And this week, we asked you guys, which member of the OG bloodline do you think will win a world championship first? And the four options were Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, or Solo Sikoa. And here are the results. Who do you think won this, Phil?
My gut's going to go with people saying Mr. Yeet himself, Jey Uso.
Yeah, you're right. Jey Uso with the landslide, easy sweep. 75% of the Maniacs picked main event Jey, while 5% picked his brother Jimmy, 8% picked Sami Zayn, and 11% picked Solo Sikoa.
That's exactly how I'd pull it, man. With the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, I mean, I can see it happening. I don't see him winning the WWE Championship for a while, if ever. I don't see Solo winning that title right now because I just don't see it.
Yeah, so I don't know. If I were to pick somebody to win the World Championship first, I think it's probably going to be Jey Uso because he is so over with the crowd. He's somebody that I feel like 1 year in the Royal Rumble, maybe not this upcoming one, but maybe in like 2026 or 2027, he can win it and have like a similar, like maybe like a Kofi Mania type of situation.
Oh, Yeet
except
Mania,
like winning the Rumble and getting that moment.
Dude. Yeet Mania. Oh my God. Fuck yeah, dude. That'd be great. I mean, and then like we just said with the World Heavyweight Championship, you can do Yeet Mania, man. Like that's a feel-good moment that still isn't the main WWE Championship.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jey Uso, but Solo Sikoa, in my opinion, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, I think he's going to be the one to take the United States Championship off of LA Knight towards Mania season, and then they're going to build something with Fatu and Solo through time, and then I think Fatu will be the one to take the title eventually off of him.
Okay, I like that. I can't disagree with that, man. It's the ride to WrestleMania 41 is going to be interesting because it's obviously we're looking at a lot of bloodline stuff. Rock, Roman. I mean, hopefully Cody and Orton by then. But yeah, I want to see where it goes because like the whole build up with. Well, we're going to get into that in another topic, so we'll save that in a bit.
So every week here on the show, we have our We Are Wrestling highlight of the week. And pretty much, this is where we talk about our favorite thing that happened in the wrestling world this week. Phil, what's your highlight of the week?
Dirty Dom getting the recognition he deserves.
God, I love Dirty Dom. And
Dirty
we'll be talking
Dom,
about that as well.
If you'd have told me fucking like in the pandemic 2020 that Dominic Mysterio was going to be one of my favorite fucking wrestlers and one of the best fucking performers in WWE, let alone all of wrestling right now, I'd have fucking laughed.
Yeah, me too, man. He is somebody that is just right now absolutely killing it. And I'm just waiting for that time for him to get a world title run because I feel like it's going to be like it's going to be like one of those like 2005 like Jeff Jarrett TNA world title runs.
Oh,
and I can't wait for it.
It's going to be fucking great, man. Like the kid just knows how to piss people off with his looks, dude. Like he really is a good combination of Eddie Guerrero, his dad, and like God, dude, so many other greats at the same time too, man. It's like he's the perfect heel.
Man, even like the new tattoos he's got of like all the luchadors on his hand. I thought that was wicked cool.
I don't know, man. His whole character development, dude, him finding his footsteps, dialing himself to 11 like The Rock would call it. Like he's out there being himself, man, and it's paying off in spades, dude.
I really hope that this dude wins the championship next year. He needs to.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking tag title or speed title. I'm talking an Intercontinental, a United States, or a world title he needs.
Absolutely, man. I can see Dirty Dom having a lengthy IC run, which would be fucking great, dude.
Yeah, I could see that happening. So now getting into my highlight of the week this week, I will say AEW Full Gear, I don't want to just sweep it under the rug because I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. I thought that all the matches delivered, and finally Mercedes Moné actually put on a match that was actually good. Because I've been waiting for that for a minute now. Because I was a big fan of her work, Sasha Banks in the WWE, and it just felt like, in AEW, like, there was just nothing there. Like, it just felt like it was, like, all just missed opportunity after missed opportunity, and they finally actually did something good at Full Gear with her. Her and Statlander absolutely killed it. Also, even at Full Gear, too, like, I love the match between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. I think Kyle Fletcher's really starting to come out on his own now. Somebody that I think we're going to be talking about years from now.
Oh, of course.
But the best thing that happened this week, in my opinion, has got to be on Monday Night Raw. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. That was great.
Absolutely, man. I agree with everything you said, dude. Like, kudos to Will Ospreay and Fletcher, dude. That was a banger. I mean, you couldn't expect anything less with those two, but it was absolutely incredible, dude. What I've seen in Full Gear, I haven't watched the full pay-per-view yet, but what you said about Mercedes Moné, I couldn't agree more, dude. I was there the night she made her AEW debut in Boston, dude. I made sure to be there for that because I, like you, loved Sasha in WWE. Since the NXT days, man, there was just something about her, that the gimmick, the way she talked, the arrogance, and just her quality match work, the shit she did with Bayley in NXT alone, dude, and then the main roster stuff, dude. Like, she was great. But AEW, that entire run has just been, oh, wait, she's there? It's been so lackluster, so boring, and it feels like we finally got to see that Sasha shine on a Mercedes AEW.
Yes, exactly. And it feels so good to hear somebody talk good about her because every week here, if I mention Mercedes to the Load Rager, I never hear the end of it.
Oh, I know, dude. I know. It's like, I know that you're waiting for Ben to be here to be like, oh, fuck that. Fuck this. But no, like, I'm the guy on the team who's with you, man. Like, I loved Sasha's run in NXT. I loved her in WWE most of the time. I just think she's a great worker, dude. I like when she works matches with Charlotte, Bayley, Horsewoman alone, dude. You can't take away what they did. And she really, I think her gimmick and her whole essence and arrogance and just like them heel qualities she has really put a stamp on the women's division in WWE because they needed a heel like that. They needed their Ric Flair level fucking arrogant heel, and Charlotte.
Yeah, because like I remember her making Izzy cry during one of the
Yeah.
takeover matches. That was that's good heel work right there. If you can make a little girl
Absolutely,
cry, that right there is good work.
Absolutely, man. And that's what I want to see more in AEW is more of that Sasha type Mercedes, man. And I'm excited to see what we can get, man. But yeah, a great week in wrestling, man, leading into a big fucking
Great week.
weekend.
So, with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap. And this is where we talk about some of the highlights that happened during the week in the pro wrestling world on television, whether it was on Friday Night SmackDown or Monday Night Raw or even AEW Dynamite or even a pay-per-view. So, starting things off, last Friday we saw the return of Paul Heyman and CM Punk, and it was announced that CM Punk is the 5th member of Team Roman. What's your thoughts on it, and what should happen at Survivor Series? Because obviously, if you guys haven't listened to the Survivor Series predictions, I already gave you guys what I think is going to happen, and I'm not going to spoil what I think is going to happen here, because you need to go watch the predictions. But we haven't heard from you, Phil, so I want to know what you think is going to happen.
Man, I am not just on the spot. I'm like right on it. Like, you're looking right at me. We're not going to hear yours at all. We're going to have to wait and watch that video, dude. So, like, I'm sure it'll be linked below, knowing you. So, you know, it's right there. But, dude, I'm stoked to have Heyman back. Like, how can you not be stoked to have Heyman back? Just, ladies and gentlemen, my name is already enhances the television and the product fucking, like, tenfold. The man himself has an essence that few people have. I consider him in the top 5 talkers in professional wrestling. Anyone he touches, minus Curtis Axel, turns to gold.
What about you forgot Ryback too? He did horrible with him too.
Yeah, Ryback too. See, exactly. But yeah, that one too, and maybe throw in Cesaro. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't that great either. But most of
he was
what
good with
touches
one
is
person that
fucking
I just
gold.
thought of real quick. Heidenreich. Remember when he was with Heidenreich?
Heidenreich. Oh my God, bro. Well, all right. He's got a great track record, damn it. And in the
There we go.
GCW, Paulie Dangerous Alliance. Like, the guy's been doing it for decades, dude. Like, and he's still got it. And like, CM Punk, like, me and you, fucking what, a year ago, Survivor Series, man. Like, we both had high hopes. And I mean, dude, the fucking the 3-way he did with McIntyre, those 3 matches, man. Like, come on. It was, that Hell in a Cell might be the best match of the year, dude. Like,
So
it's
good.
up there. It's fucking up there, man. And, like, Punk is putting in some great fucking work, dude. This is all going to go into some other stuff. And that's where I'm like, all right, where's this going to go? Because, I mean, it comes to me at Heyman came out in that fucking red shirt.
Yep.
Heyman came out in that red fucking shirt. And if Paul Heyman and the WWE storylines don't like doing one thing, it's throwing in little Easter eggs to those of you who pay fucking attention. And it's like, is this an obvious throw off? Or like, are you trying to make me think like, oh, this is so obvious. It's just like Solo. Like, that's what he's going to do. But then it goes somewhere else. And then it's someone else who does it. Like, bro, this is a masterclass because it makes me scratch in my head going, what the fuck if? What's going on? And then, like, you look back at that CM Punk promo when he comes in with Heyman and he was like, I need you to help me. And so it all goes back to that. And now Punk's joining Roman and doing this. And like, dude, this is great writing. This is why I love the WWE product, is because they do storylines better than fucking anybody. They really do. It's like, you're making me care again. And you can tell we're at that point where it's like, are we close to Rumble? Oh shit, we're getting close to Rumble. This is Survivor Series. Oh, we're getting close to Mania season. Shit's going to get good for a little bit. And this is where we get that build, man. Where you can start seeing the beginning framework to WrestleMania and Rumble. And it's like, oh, what are we getting here, man? Like, what's going on? What's next? So I got to go, like, my gut wants to say Paul Heyman's the leader of the new bloodline. Because Paul's been with Roman now for so long. And, like, we don't know if Brock Lesnar is a fucking part of this shit either, man. Like, Brock's been in talks. There's so much shit they could do right now, man. Like,
all right, so Phil,
yeah,
I'm gonna ask you this: what do you think is going to happen, like the finish of this Team Roman versus Team Solo?
I gotta
and then
go.
I'll tell you what I think.
All right, because it's so hard. This is one of like I mean, I gotta say, this is the most excited I've been for Survivor Series in a while, dude. because it's like we knew it was going to be bloodline, but I didn't know I was going to care this much, and I do, because it's like Secret Wars almost, man. You know, like akin to comic books. It feels big and should feel big. I got to go. Rock gets involved. I gotta go. The new bloodline wins, man. Like by some kind of interference or turn, and maybe it's Heyman, but it's hard to tell, man. I'd say interference. Sami Zayn maybe heel turn, you know, and Paul Heyman heel turn at the same time. That's what I'm gonna go with, man. I'm gonna go with that.
So, here's what I had, and I didn't have the Sami turning heel, but I think that Paul Heyman is going to be the one behind the new bloodline with The Rock.
Yeah.
I think the final boss is controlling Solo and like what's going on with this new bloodline.
So
and if anybody's going to protect Paul Heyman, it's going to be the final boss.
And also with him being like, yeah, dude, that I like that. See, it goes along with it, and that's
because Ben made a good point in the predictions. Paul Heyman broke Roman Reigns' phone, never broke The Rock's phone.
That Lone Ranger, he gets some gold sometimes, man. That's good.
That's why we highly recommend the Maniacs to go, after this episode of the podcast, go listen to the predictions. Because Ben and I, we were on point in our predictions. It definitely worth watching.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, it's the Paul Heyman turn. It's so obvious to those of us who've been watching wrestling forever. That's why I'm like, is there gonna be a swerve? Will there be a swerve? Because it's so obvious. It seems so obvious. And if there is a swerve, god damn, I can't wait to see what it is. But if it is the obvious Paul Heyman, god damn, is that going to make for some good fucking TV?
That's what I'm saying. And then Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Jay can't get their revenge on Heyman because the final boss is protecting them.
A fucking men, man. And that's going to lead to a wonderfully big fucking Rumble and Mania season, man.
Yep, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. If you want to see our genuine reactions, we will be live for WWE Survivor Series this Saturday night. So highly recommend you guys joining us for the watch along. It's the best way to interact with us on the live streams. But moving on now to our next recap for the week at AEW Full Gear. Big boom! AJ suffered a broken foot in the beginning of the match against QT Marshall and apparently finished the match with a broken foot. What's your thoughts on that?
Bro, like, have you ever broke a bone before, Donnie?
I did break my nose, if that counts.
See, I mean, it kind of counts. I mean, I've broken fingers.
I did dislocate and broke my middle finger.
Yeah, so you get it. It's what he did is insane. Like, you've ever sprained your ankle?
Oh, all the time, basketball.
Yeah, you're walking on a sprained ankle, let alone wrestling, taking bumps, dude. Like, fucking kudos, man. Like, bro, that's toughness. That's toughness and knowing that, like, bro, this is a stage. This is an opportunity. I'm going to fucking seize it. And he deserves all the fucking goddamn flowers he's getting for it, man. That's awesome. Good for him. Like, what a way to fucking do it.
And I have to totally agree with you on that. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, the Costco guys and, like, the Rippler and, like, his son, Justice. But, like, I do think it is good publicity for AEW. It is something they actually do need. And just hearing the backstage stories with AJ and, like, how, like, welcoming he's been. And, having this broken foot, wrestling throughout the match, finishing it, and then the fact that, like, he stayed afterwards to pretty much, like, meet up with, like, production people and, like, anybody that was backstage at AEW. And he even stayed for the Tony Khan press conference, too.
Bingo,
True professional.
It's Tony Khan even said that he learned a lot about TikTok and marketing and, like, how to market in a different way now because of meeting him. And, like, I'm just like you, dude. I never gave two shits about these guys. Like, I don't really care. It's not my demographic. It's not supposed to be my demographic. But good for them. Like, that's fucking huge. And it's going to get more eyes on the wrestling business. And but that's what really matters at the end of the day is, like, this beautiful thing that we all love, getting more eyes on it so it can continue this boom and we can have more companies, dude. So maybe TNA gets that fucking TV spot somewhere and we get 3 major companies on TV, man. Because, like, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Exactly. And like that's the thing, like I'm glad that like AJ was a true professional, and he already said like this isn't the last time he's gonna do something with AEW, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But hopefully we do wish him a speedy recovery. What
Absolutely.
a true professional, and he deserves his flowers. Moving on now to our next AEW Full Gear recap. At Full Gear, Daniel Garcia defeated Jack Perry to win the AEW TNT title. What's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are I really want to see you do the hump thing with me. Like, come on, Donnie, give it to me. Give it to me, Donnie. Give it to
Daniel
give it
Garcia,
to the audience.
baby.
They deserve it. Get it up.
Leading the way.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Man,
I
Daniel
said this
Garcia.
John Blaine on the Around the Ropes podcast, he would have did that for me.
He would have done that for you, shirtless, probably.
Goddamn right he would. A little heads up and a little fucking shout out to them. What's up? What's up, John Blaine? We love you.
Yes, we do.
But dude, Daniel Garcia, man, like, dude, the kid's a star. Like, he's a fantastic worker. He's just at the beginning of his surge, man, and I'm excited to see where he goes. And like, kudos to him, man. It's a great stepping stone for him.
I'm happy with this decision. I think Jack Perry's going to probably take some time off, just like the Young Bucks, because now the Death Riders are taking over AEW. And I think giving it to Daniel Garcia, who is like one of those homegrown day one AEW guys, who literally worked his way from the bottom to this moment, I'm very happy for him. And I think like I'm glad that like Tony Khan is finally giving like his flowers to guys like Daniel Garcia in Private Party. I want to see that more often. Takeshita winning the international title.
Oh, he's amazing.
I really like where we stand right now with the champions, and I think Daniel Garcia having this is a great way to further this AEW versus Death Rider story.
Oh, amen. Because you know now, dude, that no matter what, even if Daniel Garcia is a transitional champion, he's in the main storyline now as someone with a belt against the Death Riders as the face of AEW as their TNT champion, man. So, like, you're looking at, like, a major push and elevation just in the talk alone, dude. And, I mean, dude, even if he loses the belt to someone in the Death Riders, man, like, and gets screwed out of it, that's a great fucking storyline that I can't wait to see.
There's plenty of more doors that could be opened. And one of the matches that I'm thinking of, I want to see this hopefully at AEW World's End. I want to see Daniel Garcia defend the title against Claudio. I think that could be a great match.
That's exactly where my head's at with this, man. It's like you plucked the thought, dude. That's what I'm going with. I think this is where Claudio takes it, too. I really see that. And, I mean, you got a dominant faction. You're making them look dominant, dude. You need a secondary title. And you need to get it against an AEW guy. They couldn't do it against Jack Perry because they just had a similar storyline with the Young Bucks. Like, it makes sense to take it off him, give Daniel that push, give him that big win, and then eventually put it on the Death Riders because of the storyline. It's classic NWO type storytelling. And it's fucking working. And it's it's better because they're doing it with less people and a slow burn.
Yes, exactly. Like, I think some people don't understand it, but I feel like I understand it, and I really like the way the direction is with the Death Riders. It's something different. And I really like where, like, Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir are at right now.
Dude, I love
more than
Wheeler
anything.
Yuta. I fucking love Wheeler Yuta, dude. I can't wait to see what that kid's going to be in, like, 5 years, man. Like, that's another one where it's like, oh, dude, remember when Wheeler Yuta first started? Like, he's going to be one like that for sure, man. Like, I love the idea of the Death Riders because it's like Moxley's saying to AEW, we need to get back to being fucking AEW. Because that's really what this is, dude. It's like, dude, get the fucking grid up and fucking do what we do best, which is put on fucking great wrestling matches. Like, concentrate on one. Like, it's like a way for the roster to step up, dude. It's like, it's on a kind of like a Ruthless Aggression type fucking storyline where they're like,
I was gonna say,
we need someone here to fucking step up to us, dude. Just show me you can do it. Just show me you can take it to me, dude. And I love that because it's going to make these people step up. And that's why people were bitching at first. Like, why is fucking like Orange Cassidy or Darby Allin or Private Party? No, dude. This is what needs to happen because it's like the Ruthless Aggression era. We're trying to create new stars. And, dude, what better way to fucking do it than with a faction storyline with guys who are from WWE, with a mix of guys from AEW who are just going at it just to fucking have good talent fight them back. Like, dude, it's one of the best storylines going on
You
right now, dude.
understand
I
it.
just think that people in like the WWE fans and like the fans who are fans of all of it don't get it and give it its just desserts. And dude, you know me, I've been hard on AEW quite a bit.
Yep.
I think they are finding their fucking footing again and using what they know best, how to make people get eyes on them with their wrestling product. What better way to do it than with an NWO type storyline that mixes with the ruthless aggression of people stepping up? It's genius. It's so many things that make people love wrestling rolled into one to just elevate new talent and showcase who they have that can already do it.
Wow. That better be clipped. Speaking of stepping up, our last We Are Wrestling Weekly recap for the week, this past Monday on Raw, before it went on the air, Adam Pearce revealed the new WWE Women's Intercontinental title. What's your thoughts on finally the Raw brand getting a women's mid-card title?
Man.
And we got to talk about who we think is going to be the first champion.
God, dude, it's so hard who's going to be the first, dude. I know who I want to be the first.
Me too.
Chelsea Green.
Well, Chelsea's on SmackDown. I want her to be the first United States champion.
So, all right, we can cut that part because I'm an idiot. Thank God we're cutting this, right?
No, we're not cutting this.
Oh, no, I'm just stupid. I'm stupid.
We got to show your dementia a little bit.
Well, I am that fucking old guy. I don't know. I like Chelsea Green for the United States one then. Raw, Zelina Vega maybe, dude. Like, I really think she'd be a good, but I mean, we could have a comeback coming, to maybe take it, dude. That's what I've heard in the pipeline, but
please don't tell me. Please don't say Becky Lynch's name, please.
Oh, dude, I think I think that's like Netflix. She's coming back in January. They can't wait that long to crown a champion, dude. But I'll go with Zelina Vega, dude. Like, I really want like her to get her roses in a belt of some form like that. Like, Queen of the Ring, dude. Been there for a long time, man. Like, really good on the roster, dude. Like, give her flowers, man. Let her show what she can do, dude. She's great. I love Zelina Vega.
So here's who I was gonna say for the first IC Women's Champion. I was gonna go with Lila Valkyria. But now that, like, you explained to me about Zelina Vega, like, really being on the grind and just not really getting that opportunity, being close, but not getting that opportunity, I have to go with Zelina. Because if I want Chelsea to win the title on SmackDown,
bingo.
I think I want to have Zelina win it on Raw. And I think there's more opportunities there.
Hey, dude, and that's the thing, dude. It's like the IC title and the United States title, mainly the IC title, I'll say. The United States title has some good history to it, but the IC title might be, in the 90s, the most important championship in wrestling, in my opinion. Because it wasn't about the Hogans or the Warriors. It was about who was the best up-and-coming wrestler who was going to make it to that main event spot, or who's the best fucking wrestler. Some of the best wrestling matches happened around that Intercontinental title, dude. Like Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig, Macho Man, Bret Hart. Dude, the list goes on. And Roddy Piper. Like, that's my old school days, dude. Like, that title meant something, dude.
Yeah, it was the workers' champ.
Yeah, man, the workhorse. Then, I mean, dude, you even look at, like, fucking the SmackDown era of the IC title when they made it that oval one. Shelton Benjamin, Chris Jericho, dude, Edge. Fucking like
nope, that was on the Raw brand.
Raw brand. Well, the Circle title when they had that.
Yeah, the Circle one. That was on Raw.
Dude, you had some great fucking championships like holders there too, man. But like to me, the heyday of that belt was like the 80s and 90s. And I mean, we're finally getting one for the women. Let the mid card fucking shine and show that they belong on the main event. Like, and what you're gonna do is give your flowers to those who've been there for so long, who need that little bit of a boost that isn't a tag title. And we said that before in another episode, man. The tag titles are cool and all, but like they need another solo championship to build up towards the main event people, man. Because Queen of the Rings are cool, tournaments are cool, tag belts are cool, but you need another belt to solidify and make more stars. And Zelina Vega, dude, hell, that main event she did Backlash alone, dude. That like she deserves a chance, man. She's a great worker. She's been with the company forever. She does what she's told, even if she's not fucking good, and she looks happy doing it.
Exactly, and I have been saying it for the longest time now. Like, the women, they deserve this. They really do. And a mid-card championship can really elevate a talent. Like, we've seen it recently with Gunter. He really, like, revived that Intercontinental Championship, and now he's holding the World Championship. And a lot of the times, like, that's where, like, new talents start. They focus on the mid-card title, and then through time, they build up that stock, they become more established, and then eventually they will go on to WrestleMania and maybe winning the World Championship someday.
Amen, dude. It's let it be what it is. Like, we'll say what? 5 out of 10 people, 50% chance if you're an IC title holder, you're going to main event a major pay-per-view for a world title. Like, there's a 50% chance, at least, maybe even higher.
And I think, like, with the Women's Intercontinental and the United States, it's a great way to establish new stars, because on the Raw brand especially, right now there's only 3 women that, and I'm a broken record here, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, there's literally 3 women that, like, they're putting stock into, and that's Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. Everybody else, they're all stuck. That's why we need to have a Women's Intercontinental title. Something for a Selena Vega, a Shayna Baszler, a Zoe Starks, a Lila Valkyria to compete for. Because it gives them something to focus on rather than just doing these normal rivalries for what?
Exactly, man. That's the thing, dude. If you look at where women's wrestling was and where women's wrestling is now, and in the last decade, holy fuck, dude. Like, it's incredible. I mean, I think that some of the women's matches, like, if I had to pick my top 10 matches of the past 5 years or 10 years, dude, a couple women's matches are in there. No doubt in my fucking mind, dude. And when you have a division with a world championship and a stacked roster of talent, and there's only one belt, people fall the wayside way too much. Because main storylines, like you said, Rhea, Liv, Raquel, who cares? Like, what's everyone else doing? They got to have something to fight for. The 24/7 title was ridiculous. Like, the tag titles are kind of a joke, like I've said before, dude.
They just need to put them on the pay-per-views.
This is going to be a fucking change, dude, because 2 years from now, we're going to be used to having that belt and have, like, a list of champions before and have it go, dude. Like,
especially those NXT women, too. Like, the main rosters are about to be really, really stacked in that women's division, and dude, we need more titles.
WWE has so many talented fucking women in it right now that it is fucking scary.
Very, very scary. And that's like the thing, too.
NXT women's roster alone, dude, I would put against the fucking main rosters.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. But that's the thing, like, when it comes to, like, these women, like, a lot of the times, like, they get to have these special matches that the men get, like Elimination Chambers, Money in the Banks, Royal Rumbles, and half the time, most of the time, actually, the women are putting on better matches than the men.
Absolutely, man. It's they've been given the stage, and the women's revolution and the evolution it's so fucking real, dude. Like, it's unbelievable, man. Like I said, if you'd go back 10, 15 years ago and tell people what's going on, they'd be like, what? Like, it's fucking wild, dude. Like, it's so impressive how far. And I mean, again, Triple H, dude, like, I got to give it to Papa H here, man. Like, he really fucking turned things around for these women, dude.
He really has. I totally have to agree with you on that. So, because it's Thanksgiving, we are not going to be going into a break. We're going to get right into it with the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. And this is where we talk about all the things going on with the dirt sheets, all the news, all the rumors, all the craziness. So, starting things off, a former AEW star has been WWE ID'd. Last weekend, it was announced that KYLIE RAE has now been WWE ID'd. What's your thoughts about this?
Fuck Chris Jericho, and good for her.
I was there when Jericho got all that heat, too, at World's End. That's when the news came out.
He deserved it.
He did.
He 1,000,000% deserved it. And I'm just going to say whatever. I don't care. Clip it. I love it. I'm so happy for her, dude. She deserved it. She's a great fucking worker, dude. She killed it on the indies. And I'm glad she's going to get the fucking opportunity she deserved a long time ago.
Absolutely. And speaking of the WWE ID thing, we do want to let you guys know that Phil and I, we are going to be doing a We Are Wrestling Extra, I think sometime next week, talking about all the latest signings, especially Bryce Donovan and Brad Baylor and some of those Northeast
Marcus
people.
Mathers, Aaron Rourke, bro. Again,
we're going to be doing a whole extra on that sometime next week.
Northeast.
The Northeast. Because if there's one thing that Phil and I, we bond over, it's indie wrestling. So it's going to be a great extra for you guys. But getting into KYLIE RAE now, here's my thoughts on it. Very, very happy for her. I've been a huge fan of her work. And I think that she needs this opportunity. But here's what I would have done. Because with this WWE ID thing, I want to see top independent wrestlers who haven't been signed somewhere getting these contracts. I think KYLIE RAE, she should have gotten a normal WWE contract and went to NXT.
I
don't know. It kind of takes away a little bit from the program.
Here's where here's where I will disagree with you politely because I respect your opinion. I will say that I think this adds something because it's showing you what did she really do with AEW? What did she really do? Was she seen in homes or was she on Dark?
She actually was in like the early pay-per-views. Yeah, I think it was a couple of them, and then that's when she left before the first episode.
What really was used? No one really knows anything except for the scandal with Jericho, which finally got fucking exposed. Pardon my French.
But also too, Impact Wrestling. She did do stuff for them for a couple of years.
Okay, but like it's more to me that like. I think this was kind of a we're going to show you what we're looking for kind of thing. And even if you worked another company, we're going to give you the shot. And she was the first. She was the first. And it's not like she was a giant name for it. She was someone that was misused and mistreated, but never really got to show her potential. And with the size of the NXT women's roster, man, if you put her in right now, she'd get lost in the shuffle. Let some of these girls move up. It's Rumble season, man. We're going to see some move ups, dude. You know that.
But I will say this, though. I think her being WWE ID, too, I think a reason why they did that, too, they want to see if she is reliable or not. Because I know she does have a lot of issues with mental health and stuff. Where she's had to pull, like, out from shows and other things like that. So I think WWE, this is, like, their way of, like, okay, let's see how she does under a WWE ID contract rather than, like, a standard level contract.
Man, this is stuff we can get into deep on that on our extra because it's so the ID program itself is so we're just getting the idea of what it is. Like it's so new, and honestly, like it's tune into the extra and we can dissect all of this.
Oh,
like,
we're going to.
Like
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to talk about this with you, man, because it's like you said, it's something we bond over and it's something we both know a great deal about because we live in that world.
We do. Exactly. So next week, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that are listening or watching this episode, there will be an extra. Phil and I, we're going to be talking about the WWE ID prospects and the whole program itself, and we're really going to dissect into it. And, of course, we're going to give our flowers to our friends that have got their WWE ID contracts. Like, it's going to be a good conversation.
Oh, dude, Bryce's story today is covering the Black Number One pay-per-view we just did, and he put up, look how much they love me, and it's my daughter and my girlfriend's daughter going
I saw that
nuts,
clip.
Dude. Like, yeah.
I saw that clip on X.
Oh, yeah, dude. My daughter is, like, the biggest fucking Bryce fan, and so is my girlfriend's daughter. They literally are making shirts for the next show. Like, Fiona's known Bryce now for fucking almost 3 years. Like,
yeah, because I was gonna say when Fiona was talking to me at I think it was the brewery show.
Yeah,
she was like talking about like how like obsessed she is with like Bryce and like Bobby. I remember that.
Dude. She's a true fucking like fan for life, dude. And like, dude, you heard the chants, dude. Evil Bryce, evil Bryce.
Yeah, dude, I already know where this is going.
Oh, dude.
I can't wait.
I can't fucking wait. Because God, did that kid find himself. Dude, the last year, like, I got to give him his flowers. Holy fuck, has he found himself, dude.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about WWE ID
Number
next
2
week.
fucking signing for ID and well fucking deserved.
First male to be signed to a WWE
male,
ID.
Dude. Dude, and
Yep,
so
Gazada
fucking
Steel was the first female.
Yep, Steel
But
first.
moving on now
Yeah.
to our next, because, oh man, we're going crazy here. We got to wait until next week, Phil.
Next week.
Moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling Weekly news and rumors. AEW has released the bracket for this year's AEW Continental Classic, which is pretty much like their G1 tournament that they do towards the end of the year. And here is the bracket. So, for the Blue League, we have Shelton. Oh, yep, we got the right one here.
Okay.
Usually I fuck up on these. Shelton Benjamin, Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher, Daniel Garcia, Beast Mordos, and Okada, who won last year's. And in the Gold League, we have Darby Allin, Claudio, Brody King, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Juice Robinson. What's your thoughts on the bracket this year?
I love the brackets this year, actually, dude. There's so many good match potentials there, man. And I mean, I got Kyle Fletcher winning the whole thing.
I hope. I'm hoping.
I
love Kyle
really
Fletcher.
see it happening, dude. I really see it happening. I'm fucking so excited for it.
Wow, I just realized too. Damn, like the possibilities that we can get here for like the finals is endless.
It's fucking crazy,
dude. We could really get a Will Ospreay versus Okada match.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely, we could.
So here's the thing I love about the Continental Classic, because I know there's some fans out there that are like, oh, it's lazy booking. Tournaments this, tournaments that. And that's one thing Tony Khan and Triple H, they do have in common. They love their tournaments. But here's why I like it, because towards the end of the year, a lot of us pro wrestling fans, we're not really tuned into wrestling that much, because we're waiting for the road to WrestleMania. We're just waiting for a new year, a new start, a new change. Just like somebody that's like on a diet. They're not going to start a diet during the holidays. They're going to wait until January 1st. That's why you can never get to a treadmill when you go to the gym. But when it comes to like the Continental Classic, I like it because it's a great way to keep the product fresh. And honestly, it gives them solid television for the rest of the year. And you get to put on classics. And you don't really have to have reasonings like rivalries behind these matches. It's a great way to start new rivalries and to start like new chapters and stuff. I love the Continental Classic and what it does, because we've seen like the positives of the G1 and what it's done for New Japan.
Amen, dude. I like everything you said. I agree with it, because you're right. This is that low period in wrestling. I think there's two low periods in wrestling. The biggest one, about a month after WrestleMania, after Backlash, when you go into the summer.
Yep.
It's rough, dude. Like, you don't watch a lot. There's some throwaway pay-per-views, throwaway feuds. Then you get excited for SummerSlam. Then you ease off a little bit. Then you got that Survivor Series type feel where it's like, okay. But until the Rumble, it's like, oh, fuck, what do I care about?
Yeah, because December's dead. December is dead.
Dude. Christmas. People care about Christmas, dude. They care about the holidays. They care about family, friends, going to the fucking see the latest Christmas movie, dude. Like, it's a rightful low period in wrestling. So to give us good matches that you don't need a storyline to care about, it's the perfect gift for the holiday season, man.
It really is. And I think the finals is going to be Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, absolutely.
And I believe I commented that on the We Are Wrestling Facebook page. And I know Ricky knows best. He does not want to see that happen. He thinks it's too soon. I did mention that.
I think it's perfect because you know what, dude? Short attention span theater, man. Like, this is long enough where people are going to care. They're going to look at all the matches going in towards it, and we're going to get something that people care about that will draw in a few casual fans as well as the hardcore ones, which these months and this tournament caters more to the hardcore fan. But if people hear, oh, wait, that's the finals, more people will tune in.
I agree. Somebody I wouldn't be mad at winning this is Shelton Benjamin. I think that could really help the Hurt Syndicate.
I really don't. Maybe him going far in it, I can't see them letting him win, and I can't see him campaigning himself to win. Like, I love Shelton Benjamin. He's one of my favorite Intercontinental champions of all time. Team Angle, I fucking loved it, dude. Like, he's a great worker, dude. He's top notch, dude. Rumble appearances, like, he's a great fucking wrestler, man. Like, he deserves flowers. but how much more? I mean, he doesn't deserve to win the classic right now. You got to give it to someone who's up and coming, or someone who's like you're one of your guys, not like someone you're bringing in to make a group to make your.
Okay, if it's not okay, I got one more. If it's not Will Ospreay or Kyle Fletcher, maybe Claudio, because then he could take the title off of Okada, and that way, like when the Elite do come back as faces to try to take out the Death Riders to save AEW, you have something there.
Yeah, and then you have like them with belts, and like they have the way to go. Yeah, that works too, man. And then that goes back to what I said earlier. The classic, like, fucking NWO type takeover storytelling mix. And why this works is because you mixed it with, like, a way to bring up the young, up-and-coming talent instead of burying it all or having them join it.
Preach. Absolutely preach. I agree. But I think it's so unpredictable. Like, they actually made it look stacked. Like, I think that it can go, anybody in this can actually win it, which is what
Absolutely,
I like.
dude. I mean, yeah, I like that idea. I can't look at the bracket and say anyone in it could win it with Mark Briscoe and fucking like Shelton Benjamin and them. I can't realistically look at that and say that they could win it with the other names on there.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the Gold League. I'm looking at this Gold League right now because I could see a Darby Allin winning this.
I can't see Darby. I see
Ricochet,
Darby Allin getting screwed.
A Will Ospreay.
I see them getting screwed from the Death Riders and winning it, like Darby Allin, like I mean that, like Daniel Garcia, all those type people. You're looking at the main feud and the main TV spot of AEW. You can't think that they're not going to build that into the Continental Classic storyline, and that's you people who you think could win it all, like Darby Allin, and get them out of the tournament by getting them out of it to have it go into something else. Like the Will Ospreay Fletcher shit, that doesn't have Death Riders written on it, and it can still elevate that way. Throw in Ricochet matches. Guess what? We love watching that. That elevates it that way. Then you're getting both out of that while still elevating someone new.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Fletcher and Will Ospreay, though, when it all comes down to it.
It's got to be, dude.
I agree. Moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. According to PW Insider, Adam Copeland has been cleared for physicality, but is not expected to be back regularly with AEW until he is done filming for the second season of Disney's Percy Jackson, which Hollywood sources indicate is expected to wrap up in January. What's your thoughts on him being cleared, and who would you like to see Adam Copeland feud with first coming back?
Here's what I would love to see happen, but I know it can't happen because the Death Riders story is so fucking good. Like, man, there's a lot of Death Riders love on this episode. But I would love to see Christian go to cash in and then Adam run out and you think he's about to screw Christian and he helps him win it.
Oh my god, that would be like the best way to have Christian cash in.
Fucking Copeland with a heel Christian win, bro. That would be fucking awesome. But I know it won't happen.
I know.
But in my future, in my own mind, I can see it and see how cool it would be.
So when it comes to Adam Copeland, if I were AEW, here's what I would do. Because you got a lot of people talking, and I know we're going to be talking about him a lot in our main event topic. We have a whole main event dedicated to him. I would try to make things right with Ricky Starks until his contract expires in the spring or summer of 2025. Because they did have that little altercation, and like Ricky Starks kind of sparked it up a little bit during that interview with Chris Van Vliet. So I would like do something there with him and Adam Copeland, and then honestly have Ricky put over Adam if he's going to leave.
Are we going into the main event topic after this? Because it would flow.
We are. I wish we had the segue.
I'm going to wait on most of what I'll say, but I'll say, yeah, that's probably going to happen because I think that this whole thing is a work.
I'm hoping. I am hoping. But we'll get into that during our main event, but we'll see what happens. Great to hear that Adam Copeland is cleared. And I thought it was supposed to be a lot longer, but good for him getting himself back quick.
Amen. But dude, the guy's in tremendous shape, dude. Like, it's one thing that like is really fucking true. When you at our age, fucking get to that age where you need to work out to stay in shape or to even fucking just be able to eat something good without fucking your body up. It's impressive to see how fast he was able to come back, man.
Speaking of some news that has been here on the We Are Wrestling podcast for quite a while, but now it's finally happening. According to Fightful, the words within AEW is that Penta's deal will be up next week, and he'll effectively become a free agent, bearing some unforeseen changes. What should Penta do? Because obviously Rey Fenix is still under contract with AEW, I believe until next summer, due to like the injuries that he's had. So what should Penta do while Rey Fenix is recovering?
Penta should come work for Blitzkrieg Pro and put on a banger match with someone.
That's a good...
Penta should hit the Indies.
I agree.
And give us some love. Penta should do some signings. Penta should do fucking like some self-work to get himself out there to put it back out. I mean, we got plenty of time between now and him cleared. Go make a bigger name for yourself while everybody knows where you're going. And with the ID program hitting at the same point, bro, it's the perfect time to reinvent yourself on the indies and get word back out. But you don't need to reinvent. People are excited about the Lucha Brothers coming to WWE. So go get the fucking excitement even bigger by letting people see you beforehand.
Wow. Yep. I 1000% can't argue that. I agree. Because, like, I know there's some people that are saying, like, Penta, he can go to WWE and start in NXT by himself and then bring his brother in. I don't think they should do that.
No way.
They, like, honestly, having him go, like, all, like, around, like, the country and, like, just do all these signings and just go hard in the independents, you could really get a lot of kids excited. And, like, of course, like, the parents know what the hell's going on if you pay attention to the dirt sheets and all that, seeing the Lucha Brothers. So, like, you can tell your kid, like, you see this guy right here? He's going to be on WWE. Watch. And then,
there you go.
Man,
you
the kids are going to be all for it.
Because with the new WWE ID program, you see that they're watching the indies now. In the Vince day, that's how they felt about us. Right there. They were like, fuck you. We don't care. Right now, they know that we're churning out stars and they're IDing them with this new fucking program, which we will get to in the Wrestling Extra next week. Watch. And him going out there and working with the indies, I think WWE might fucking push him and say, yeah, let's do this. I mean, he said he's going to WWE. We all know that. We know the Lucha Brothers are pretty much a guaranteed sign. They're coming to WWE. It's going to be fucking amazing, dude. Until then, while he's still trapped under contract, why not have him go out and have that run on the indies to get the excitement building, dude? Because that's all it's going to do is build the excitement. And with the ID program and WWE already looking at it, why not send someone in that they already know they're going to sign to work with some of these guys and report back to them and say, hey, go look at this kid. Why not have another set of eyes, not just on the indies, but in them?
I 1000% have to agree. Like, I think it's just a great way to really just get the name out, because AEW, they kind of just like swept them under the rug, and they're trying to get people to forget who they are. And this is something that WWE does too, because I will call the bullshit out when I see it. And WWE, they do the same thing. They did it with Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
So, like, AEW, like, they're just doing the same thing. So I'm not going to criticize them for that, even though, do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But I do think that Penta, the man does need to go to the indies, go to a Blitzkrieg, go to a Beyond, just go all over the place and really get the Lucha Brothers names out there, especially his.
Bingo, dude. Do it up. That's the only thing that I really hope he does it, and I really hope we can get him in Blitzkrieg.
I agree. Well, moving on now to our second to last We Are Wrestling Weekly News and Rumors. Here's a quick one. The Hardy Boys re-signed with TNA. What's your thoughts on the Hardys re-signing with them?
It's the perfect place for them to end their careers, unless they get one more little match in WWE before, like, the inevitable retirement. I like them in TNA. TNA is a great product. It is a better product than most wrestling out there right now. It has some of the best stars, and shit, we just had Masha at the Blitzkrieg show. I mean, fucking, they have such amazing talent over there. Like, having the Hardys there to finish out their career and give more eyes to TNA, who's on such an upswing, it's a great move.
I'm really happy, like, with the way, like, the Hardys, like, have been with TNA. I think that they're a huge reason why they're getting all this buzz. And honestly, like, the Hardys re-signing with TNA just shows, like, their loyalty, because they have been working, like, no contracts throughout this entire time with TNA. And like Matt and Jeff, like when they were at their lowest, TNA was there for them. So like the fact that like they left AEW like not on the best terms because they weren't using them, and then to go to like TNA to like have this last run, I think has really helped them. And I think that we are going to get one final match on WWE when they decide to hang the boots up. But for them to like have like an actual run, TNA I think is the right place to be.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. And they're going to sit there and help like the talent there, and that's great. They're going to help people get eyes on TNA. I mean, because Joe Hendry alone has gotten so many. Now people are going to hear the Hardys are there. They're going to look some more. And, you know, that's what we want. We want more people looking at the product. And at the end of the day, more companies being successful is more money in all of our pockets.
Yep, and the better it is for small podcasts like We Are Wrestling, and better for independent shows like Blitzkrieg Pro, and it's just better overall for the business. Exactly.
Amen, brother. Amen, man.
Well, moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. And here's one thing I love. Like anytime like we do an extra or something, there's always a list involved. Always. And of course, ESPN released their top 30 wrestlers under the age of 30. And we do have the top 10 here and a couple honorable mentions, so here we go. At number 10, we have some guy, Umano from New Japan. Don't even know who he is.
Ricky
Number
does.
9, Ricky does, though. Number 9, Daniel Garcia. Number 8, Kyle Fletcher. Number 7, Jack Perry. Number 6, Takeshita. Number 5, Mariah May. Number 4, Rhea Ripley. Number 3, Tony Storm. Number 2, MJF. And at number 1, Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio. And a couple of the honorable mentions, too. At number 11, Braun Breaker. 14, Chris Statlander. 15, Austin Theory. 16, Jordan Grace. At 17, Hook. 18, Tiffany Stratton. 20, Roxanne Perez. 21, Wheeler Yuta. 22, Logan Paul. 24, Gabe Kidd, who's from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Number 26, Julia Hart. 27, Jamie Hayter. And at 29, Dragon Lee. What's your thoughts on the list?
My thoughts on the list is you just listed off in 10 years what are going to be a bunch of top superstars and world heavyweight champions. Some of them already are. Like, it was a great list because there's a lot of great talent on there. I mean, number 1 is so deserved it's scary. Number 2 is the most consistent heel work in wrestling. Good or bad. I mean, he's the modern day Ric Flair. Like, it's, let's be honest. MJF is the modern day Ric Flair. Like, there's no doubt. And Dirty Dom is, here's the thing, he's just Dirty Dom. I can't really compare, like, maybe Eddie. Like, lots of shades of Latino.
Yeah, but like he's like his own character too.
Yeah, dude.
And that's what
like,
really
it's so
helps.
good. That's what's so, and that's why he deserves the number 1
And he
spot.
doesn't even need like a championship to be established,
No,
too.
he doesn't, dude. He gets the most. Dude, I'll go to WrestleMania 2 years ago at 39. That entrance, dude, with fucking coming out of the police car, dude. Like, that was one of the coolest fucking Mania entrances ever, dude. It was when he started really just like really getting that character, dude, with the Judgment Day and like I was in prison for fucking this. It was hilarious, dude. It was fucking so funny. And then to take it, like, you watch him taking it so seriously and you're believing him. And then now just like the looks he gives, the way he can just get the crowd to draw heat just by looking at them, dude. Like, you can't.
The mustache, the mullet.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, the mullet. Like, and if you see his interviews he's doing on like Chris Van Vliet, fucking like all these other shows, he's a fucking riot, dude.
He's great. And that's the thing about like Dirty Dom too. The reason, and everybody knows how I feel about MJF if you are a subscriber. You know how much I love him. I can even put my bias, I can put my biasness to the side and say, you know what, Dirty Dom has to be number 1 here. Because the dude, because here's the thing, you talked about like the beginning of the Judgment Day and you talked about now. But let's talk about in between. Because Dirty Dom, a lot of people don't know this, but he was the workhorse of WWE last year. He had the most matches. He was going on Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown, all the house shows.
Remember that week where he had to main event of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, dude?
And he's gotten really, really comfortable in the ring. His character work is just on another level right now. It's something we haven't seen before. This is the closest thing I've seen to like Jeff Jarrett TNA Heat. And that is good shit right there.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's to the point where people are fucking angry just to see him. Like, and some of the, like, I mean, I don't like using the word mark, but like some of the people like that, like, they hate him legitimate.
They really do. But I will say, like, here on this list, one of the things I do disagree with is Braun Breaker being number 11. I think that man should be at least in, like, at least the top 5.
Easy top 5 right there. Braun Breaker is so fucking good.
Because I'm telling you, 10 years from now, you want to talk 5-10 years from now, I think that WWE, once Roman Reigns hangs up the boots, Cody Rhodes hangs them up, the two guys that people need to keep their eyes on, that they're going to build that company around, it's going to be between Trick Williams and Braun Breaker.
I agree with you, man. You got 2 top stars there, and you got the fills too, man. Like the filler-ins, and you got Dominic in there too now, man. Dirty Dom. Would he's gonna have a hell of a heel title run, man. He is gonna have a fucking like. No, what it's gonna remind me of. He's gonna have. I think the run he'll have before the world title run, which is the one I'm most excited for, is a Shawn Michaels, fucking sensational Sherry, 90s IC title run type run.
That's what we need in 2025.
And that's what I think he's going to get. And when he gets it, it's going to solidify him just like it did Michaels.
Yeah, dude. I see that, like, Shawn Michaels route for him. Because, like, he's had the valets. He's had Rhea. Now he has Liv Morgan. And maybe there will be somebody else. Like,
exactly,
Dirty Dom is real. Like, they better, like, Triple H better be having big plans for this man, because he is somebody that I think you generally could build a friggin' world championship around as a heel.
Absolutely. Dude.
That you despise.
Absolutely. And that's what they're going to do. And I can't wait to see what they do. I really can't wait to see what they do with it.
I can't wait too. And I think, like, this list it is pretty solid for the most part. I can't really disagree with a lot of the rankings. Like, I think that the future is bright in pro wrestling, and I love that ESPN, they're shedding light on that.
Amen, dude. It's much deserved. And I'm so glad that we're in such a big boom period, man.
Absolutely. And speaking of somebody that's been making some big booms in the wrestling world lately, let's get into our We Are Wrestling main event topic for the special Thanksgiving edition of the We Are Wrestling podcast. Ricky Starks. We got a lot to talk about since his surprise appearance at GCW. He has been making the news lines for this whole week, it feels like. Every day there's something new with him. So, starting things off, Ricky Starks did an interview with Chris Van Vliet talking about his lack of booking in AEW, the altercation between him and Adam Copeland, and being backstage at the Royal Rumble. Ricky Starks says he's had speculations about why he's been off of AEW TV since March, but lacks a definite answer. So here's what Ricky Starks said. I could have 1,000 theories about what's really going on. The fact of the matter is, I don't have a definite answer. I can't just make up an answer for people and just assume. Would I like to know the exact reason? For sure. Do I have speculations about why? Absolutely. But that does nothing to speak on things that I speculate, does nothing for the situation. Ricky Starks addressed the criticism that he received showing up backstage at the Royal Rumble to support Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill, and said this. I still, to this day, don't see a problem with it. I got into this because I'm a fan. I love pro wrestling. Regardless of where I work, I'm going to support the people that I love, and I'm going to go support wrestling in general. I was there to watch Jade's first Mania match, and was extremely proud. Then I was there to see Cody's match. Guess what? I was at Mania the year before that and saw Cody lose. There is no issue with somebody being at another show like an artist, like Jay-Z ain't gonna go to another rapper's concert, a J. Cole concert. It's only blown up like that online. So, with the interview with Chris Van Vliet, those were the two big headliners. What's your thoughts on what Ricky Starks said there?
So are we starting with just what he said or the entire situation? Because we got the GCW.
Yep, we're gonna start off with the situation that he's in, then we're gonna get into the GCW stuff.
It's hard to talk about it as a half and not a whole.
Do you want me to just read the rest of it and then we'll get into it?
Go the rest, because honestly, man, it's one of those things where, like, if I give you this half part, it's changed since I saw the new parts.
That's fair. All right, so let's talk about the incident with GCW, because of course over the weekend Ricky Starks did show up at the American Dream Mall where they did have their GCW show. Pretty much cut this promo, and pretty much according to Fightful, numerous AEW sources indicate that AEW has an option year in the spring of 2024 in which they picked up. Those spoken have said that prior to the option being picked up, he was hoping to test the open market. His contract doesn't expire until the spring or summer of 2025. AEW has pulled Ricky Starks out of all upcoming GCW shows. According to Fightful, AEW has taken the exception to GCW talent Effie for bringing up Shad Khan in a recent podcast in regards to AEW running Hammerstein Ballroom, and Shad effectively paid Tony Khan to stay away. After that, AEW was not interested in having Ricky Starks work for GCW or other AEW talent moving forward. AEW also said that Ricky Starks is able to take other independent dates from other companies. So now, with all the problems and all the headliners that he's been making, what's your thoughts on all of this? Like, do you see where AEW is coming from? Do you think Ricky Starks, like, what is it?
I don't see where they're coming from with the Hammerstein Ballroom stuff, dude, and like the GCW poll. I think they're a fool if they don't strike while the iron's hot and try and make him happy and make him one of the biggest fucking stars in wrestling, because he's going to be. We all know he's going to be. I think good for Ricky for going into business for himself, if that's truly what it was, and cutting that promo and doing those interviews and being the CM Punk of like the modern age in a way, by breaking that wall. And if this is all a shoot and this is all real, and him breaking that wall down and saying all this like he's saying it while being that cocky star and still it feeling like a promo, shows you that him himself is just the character. There's no character between Ricky Starks and Ricky Starks the human being. It's himself dialed to 11. So to strike while the iron is hot, AEW should do anything they can to make him happy and get him back in there and put him on TV. And I understand they have a lot of storylines going on right now, but like, if they lose him and they let him take these independent bookings, and it is all in fact just a shoot and he's fucking angry, and they dealt with it this way and they're not going to do anything with him and just wait for his contract to go and he's taking these indie bookings, like, he's going to blow up. Like, he has a chance to really do something special in the indies. We're talking Drew McIntyre level, Cody Rhodes level, like, really build himself up before he inevitably gets signed to WWE or goes back to AEW, which I think he wants to go to WWE. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't want to.
And that's the thing, like, with Ricky Starks, like, I kind of see it from both sides. And the thing is, with Ricky Starks, like this is why I always say, when there's a talent out there that's expressing frustrations with lack of creative, who are asking to be released, I think that if you are running a promotion and somebody doesn't want to be there, what should you do? It's common sense. You take the scissors and you cut them out. Cut the dead weight. Like, let's use Blitzkrieg, for example. What if there's somebody that has expressed, like, lack of, like, not wanting to be there, and they don't like the direction that, like, they're going in? Are you going to keep them on your roster to make people happy, or are you going to let them go because they're taking away from the hungry, talented people that you have backstage?
That's a great point, man. I mean, honestly, it's easy to cut the fat when you can do that in that aspect. But here's what makes it different. Blitzkrieg doing that, we're dealing with once a month.
True.
With us doing that on a TV network that's weekly programmed with millions of viewers, do you really want to cut someone away and let the other people just take him? Or do you want to use him and do it in a business sense? And that's where it becomes the wrestling business. And that's why you can't get mad at these type of contracts being there to protect an asset, because at the end of the day, they are workers in a business. It's just like when you like recast someone in a movie It's like just because someone isn't working out, they're going to stop filming and they'll bring someone in. It's I
Yeah, it's a
think that
business.
it's a business at the end of the day, man, and that's what means the most. It is like you've got to look at it from that aspect. Is what AEW is doing to protect what is in fact their intellectual property right now.
And I think this is where AEW is dumb, because why are you letting Ricky Starks go on these podcasts and bash your company? Why are you going to let this dude take independent bookings when he's just going to totally like show like why
Because
like he is a star?
and this is where you see they're 5 years into the business.
Man, this makes AEW look horrible.
It does. And it's like you look at WWE just finally dipping their toes in the independent scene outside of what they originally did with OVW. We now have the WWE ID program. What a way to do it. That's a good way to do it. What AEW is doing, letting them, I really don't want to complain about this because I love it. I love what they're doing by letting us have their guys on the indie shows. But in like, is it going to always be this way? Probably not. So just enjoy it while we fucking can. But like, it's a double-edged sword, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, man. Like, with Ricky Starks, here's another thing why, like, I do want to talk about it from the other side of it, too. AEW's perspective. Because, yes, like, I agree mostly with what Ricky, like, I feel like him going into business for himself, when you're in a situation where you're feeling like you're not being heard, you need to friggin' go out there and do what he's doing.
Dude,
So,
look
like,
what Ryan Reynolds
I
did
am
with the
all for
Deadpool
Rick.
footage.
I am all for Ricky Starks, like, using his voice, because everybody's voice matters. But now, from AEW side of it, Ricky Starks said he was going to Royal Rumble to support Cody and Jade. And here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, he says, and I quote, "Still to this day, don't see a problem with it. I got into this because I'm a fan. I love pro wrestling. Regardless where I work, I'm going to support the people I love." Now, I'm sure he's got some people in AEW who he loves, and I bet if he was under a WWE contract, he would not show up backstage for AEW to support somebody.
And that, my friend, is the difference in a 5-year run company and a company that's been around for decades. They may have new owners, but the established company has been around for decades. AEW is trying something different and trying to change the way, but still giving us the same product that worked for years with WWE, WCW, like NWA. But they're trying different approaches, which would do new business. That's great. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I agree. He wouldn't be doing that in WWE because WWE is an entertainment juggernaut. It is different. Right now, he has a luxury of being able to go visit his friends. Would he be able to go do that and visit his friends in AEW? No. Would he be able to go dip his face in an indie wrestling show and peek around the corner and watch and say hi afterwards? Absolutely. But he wouldn't be able to go to the other competition because it's more of established business, in my opinion. This is a new business, putting out new ideas and new things, and I love the direction they're going. I love that they're letting these guys get over on the fucking independent scene while still being on their weekly TV product to try and bolster their roster and bolster the excitement for it. AEW is doing things that WWE never would do under Vince McMahon and never could do under Vince McMahon. I will give them their flowers on that for the rest of their life, but this is one of those situations where when you let them do that, there are little things that will happen, like a Ricky Starks situation, that will make it completely different, and you got to now deal with that. And how they deal with it, let's see. It's a new company. Let's see what they do. What's the smart move? Cater to him and take this fucking goddamn grit that he's getting on the indies and take this fucking
take advantage of the opportunity
and shoot the rocket to the fucking moon. But here's the problem. You got other good storylines going on too, and you don't have 2 separate shows yet. Shame on you.
I agree. And the last thing I'm going to say about all this before we do close off this week's episode, I gotta say, like, when it's all said and done with Ricky Starks, the only thing that worries me about him joining WWE is that he's going to have to tone it down with being expressive, opinionated, because on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, which I did listen to, like, you could tell, like, he doesn't really care that much about what veterans have to say, because I believe he did talk about somebody approaching him about being seen, like, backstage at, like, Royal Rumble and how it's not a good look. and just like the way he responded to that, like you can't do that if you're a WWE superstar. Like you are going to have to be professional.
I will end my opinion with this and say this on that. And this is how I will, this is my ending topic, my ending fucking like shot out there, and just what better way to get yourself over? What better way to get yourself over? Like, think about it. CM Punk's pipe bomb. Look at what it did. Look at what it did. Look at what he is doing. He is going about a route in which he is kind of going into business for himself. But here's the thing. When you're talented enough to do it, and you've got enough of a goddamn charisma to go out there and have people care and make it news and it continue to be news, we're all talking about it. It's the main event part of this topic of this show. We're going to keep talking about it.
And that's the thing about
the right thing.
Like Ricky Starks, I know he has the talent. I know he does. I'm a big fan of his work, but he does like need to have more established in his career. Like CM Punk has had all the accolades. The dude is a first-class Hall of Famer, so he has every right to go in the business for himself. But Ricky has to earn it. So I hope that like he's not getting too comfortable where he's at.
I think that like I think he goes to NXT and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship there. Like that's got to be the goal. That's got to be the go-to for me. But I think that like I think it's going to work out. Brashness. I like the brashness of him because it means he's hungry. And I think the WWE is going to recognize that as that. And I think he'll learn in that system. And with Cody being one of the main fucking stars of that system and one of his best friends, what better place to go and fucking get better?
Exactly. And we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with Ricky Starks. But I do think it's going to all work out for him at the end of the day, because if you are talented in this business, good things happen. And I think Ricky Starks, once he comes back to WWE, like once he goes to WWE, like all this is going to be swept under the rug, and AEW is just not going to look good from the situation. We've seen it. We've been there. We've done that.
All right, my friend. But on that note, I am at my point where I have to leave.
Yep, I was just looking at the time, and I was just going to say I'll close off my very long intro without you, because I know it puts you to sleep. I know you're very, very tired from all the food you ate. I don't want to
get too tired.
But, Phil, I do want to say I appreciate you being here. I know we're recording this the day before Thanksgiving. It's a lot of things are going on, getting ready for the holidays with the family and stuff. So I appreciate you being here for this episode this week. Thank you.
All right, man. Happy Thanksgiving, We Are Wrestling audience. I will see you guys all on the We Are Wrestling Extra, and I will see you live on December 14th at Blitzkrieg Pro presents Slayer, where you guys are sponsoring Cruel versus Akira and the Christmas present match, man. Gonna be fucking epic. I can't wait to see all of you. The voice is out of here.
All righty. See you, Phil. Have a good night. So, to all the We Are Wrestling maniacs out there worldwide, what a great episode this was. Getting to sit here, catch up with old school Phil. Now that we really don't do old school versus new school anymore, this is really the only time that him and we actually do talk pro wrestling and stuff. So that was really cool. So thank you, Phil, for coming in clutch for this week, because I thought we were going to have to do a solo episode. But you know the rules. We can't miss a week because the grind is real. And to all the We Are Wrestling maniacs out there, like, I hope you guys do have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with the family because life is too short. And just a couple things before we do close off this week's episode. If you are looking to get a holiday gift for a loved one, your friend, or a family member, you can go to ProWrestlingTees.com and get yourself some We Are Wrestling shirts. We have a couple cool designs up there that are available now. And we do have quite some content on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel as well. You can check out the full match between Becca and TJ Crawford right now on the page. It's doing really good. Highly recommend it. And of course, we do have our WWE Survivor Series predictions as well. Ben and I think this was some of the best predictions that we have given to like a WWE PLE. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. And if you have nothing going on this Saturday night for the Survivor Series, come join us and watch this pay-per-view premiere live event with us Saturday night. We're going to have a whole house full. It's going to be a great time. Cannot wait. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we talked about this week. I think Phil and I, we really gave you guys some different perspectives on these certain topics, so we would love to hear what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. If you're listening to this, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode and give us a follow. And go follow We Are Wrestling over on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and even TikTok. All the links down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, seriously, I hope you guys do have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are stuffing your face with food while listening to this. To all the Maniacs, we are taking over. Peace.